Kevin, a bit of a whirlwind day for you, your first day as manager of South Shields Football Club. How have you found it and what are your first impressions?
Yeah, it's been certainly been a busy, hectic day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's great to be back at a football club, getting that buzz again, being in and around players. The smell, everything. Your senses come alive. And it's been 3 years since I've been on the grass. To get back out and to get on the grass and coach the players and give them instructions. It's been a great day. It's been a hectic day, of course, but it's great exposure for the club as well. So I think generally all round we can all say everyone's done a good job. Off to a good start.
And on the training field today as well, what were your first impressions of the squad?
I think the reaction was excellent. I had a good chat with them before and give them an insight to what I was looking for and what I was after. And they took that onto the training ground and showed it in abundance. Lots of enthusiasm, endeavour. The tempo training was excellent. At times probably too intense, but once we settled down, they trained really, really well, and so they've had a good week's training, and hopefully we'll top it off tomorrow with another day, which will be a little bit lighter, and then they'll be well prepared for going into the game Saturday.
This is your first job as a manager, so what was it about this club that made you sort of take the challenge on?
Well, I just think the ambition of the club. You work here, you know the club, you know the owner, fantastic guy Jeff. He's very, very ambitious, and you can see that in the way he's invested in the club. The new stand is amazing. The facilities for this level is just is excellent. As I said, the ambition where the chairman sees the club or wants to see the club in the future. He's not just happy to hang around, but of course the challenge is there straight away to certainly where we are in the league is to get out of this league. It's as simple as that. So you could probably say me coming to the club has hyped up a bit more, so we are probably potentially more of a scout now. People will want to beat us because we're South Shields, and of course myself being in charge, so we have to deal with that as players. But I just, of course, a chance to have my first managerial role at a club in an area that I know exceptionally well and love the area. So passionate, the supporters. So I know what could happen. But again, lots of hard work in front of us.
You mentioned the facilities there as well. You're no stranger to non-league football yourself. You started off in non-league football, but the facilities that you see here, do these eclipse what you've seen at this sort of level?
Yeah, without a doubt. When I played non-league, we used to train on the pitch twice a week. It wasn't full time, and that's another reason. That to be able to come to a non-league club that are 3 tiers down from the football league and they're full time is just it's unheard of. So again, that is credit to the owner and the people that are involved in doing that. I have to give credit to Graham and what he did and turning this place into a full time. His success he's had. So we wish him all the very best in his future. But I'm here now and try to take the club forward. But at this level, the facilities they've got is excellent.
Obviously, you've got a coaching team already in place here as well. What have you made of them? Your first impressions of the lads here?
Yeah, very, very impressed. Taken on board straight away what I'm looking for. Pretty much, with the chats we've had already last night and today, what I've said I expect from our roles and responsibilities as coaching staff and players, they're pretty much in line with what I was saying. So they're on board straight away. The enthusiasm is there. They're very good coaches. John, of course, is still a player, and that's a huge help because he knows these players inside out. And Wes is a local guy. So the balance at the minute is really good, and I thought the day went really well.
And although it's your first job as a manager, you're no stranger to the coaching sort of positions as well. You've had plenty of coaching experience in the past. Do you feel really ready to be a number one now?
Yeah, I feel it's a challenge for me because when you've not been on the grass for 3 years, you're dusting off your coaching sessions, and it's times have changed. They change quick, so it's I have to brush up on our delivery of sessions, etc., etc. But it's like riding a bike. Once you do it, you get your first day out of the way, it all comes flooding back. You get that enthusiasm. You can't wait to try out different things. But it's also, I have to get the balance right in terms of not being hands-on all the time, having to stand back and just get eyes on the player and assessing, which I think is very, very key. and then also being able to talk to the players, manage the players, which I intend to do as we move on.
But you must be pretty bored with the way that the players did react today.
Yeah, it was very good. I had to stop it at one point and just say, look, as much as I was asking for intensity, it was probably too rushed. It was 100 mile an hour, which is great, but once they settled down and did it at the right times, some of the football they played was excellent. We've still got a lot to learn. We can all improve. That's everyone. But what I saw today was very impressed.
A lot for them to learn, like you say. But what would you say a Kevin Phillips team would look like in your ideal world?
Yeah, well, for me, it's full of energy, enthusiasm, intensity, tempo, aggressive. And then when we win the ball, we're aggressive with the ball. We're on the front foot. We're positive. It is just being able to express yourself as well. In areas of the pitch that is right to do. You'll never hear me once shout on the touchline or having a go in for trying something in the right areas. Being more encouraging. So defensively solid unit. If we can't win the ball back straight away, then we get into a shape that's hard to break down, and then we wait for a trigger to when we press again. So for me, the main is a high energy side with lots of tempo and enthusiasm.
In terms of the club, I'm sure you're learning a lot very quickly. Obviously, the academy setup's a big part of the club here as well. Is that something that you're going to be looking to draw on?
Yeah, I think it's important. It's for me the main goal straight away. In immediate coming weeks is to obviously focus on the first team. Because it's mid-season and we're in a great position, so I can't let my focus go anywhere. Most of my days now are taken up with organising stuff as well, because you're at a level where I've been used to other people doing it for you. You've got loads of staff, but here I've got to muck in and do stuff myself. So, but of course I will get round. It's a big part of the football club, as you rightly say, and there could be the next best thing in there that could be obviously a massive advantage for us.
Obviously, being thrown at the deep end slightly. There's a lot of big games coming up, a lot of promotion rivals to face. But how much are you relishing that sort of challenge?
Yeah, it's what you do it for. It's what I used to play football for, was challenges. And you ultimately, as I said to the players, it's great, we can set you challenges, but you have to challenge yourself as well. You have to set goals and try and achieve them. So yeah, you rightly say we've got some big games coming up, but they're the benchmarks. If we can go and get results against them, and it puts us in a great position moving forward for the rest of the season. But I'm excited to pit myself against other managers who are more experienced than me at this level. So there's some, like you say, some good games coming up.
You had some great moments in your career, but the highlight was arguably the time you spent at Sunderland, very local club to here.
Yeah.
What is it about this place and in this area that really sort of draws you in?
Yeah, I think it's just the passion of the supporters. It's just the intensity of they live for football. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes you can't get away from it. But I just love their enthusiasm, and I'm sure. And I'm hoping maybe we might get a few more that will travel to the Warrington game now and support the players, because they just love their football. And the great thing about it is it just shows, when Sunderland are not home or Newcastle are home, you do get quite a few supporters that come and support their local non-league side, and I would encourage that. But if you do come, it's not about me, it's about supporting the players, and hopefully that will be the case. Just
finally, you mentioned the fans. There's obviously a lot of fans for a club at this level, getting regularly gates of more than 2,000.
Yeah.
What would your first message be to those fans?
Just again, thanks. It's always a difficult one when a manager loses his job halfway through the season. There's probably a lot of people thinking why, because of where we are, but sometimes tough decisions have to be made, and Jeff's made one. And we have to deal with it as players and as coach staff, but as supporters as well. There's no point harping on about it. We there's a change. Get behind the players. Support them as you have been doing. We'd love to see a few more come through the gate, and create an atmosphere, and create an environment or a ground that away teams don't enjoy coming to. Let's create a fortress at our place, and that'll be a massive help for us.